Morning, everybody. I again brought us in out of the rain. I am sorry. I envisioned this being out at a construction site and having construction behind us, and it'd be so exciting. You're going to shop right here, and it was raining and mudding, and I don't like that, so we're back inside. So we are here today to announce there is more chicken restaurants coming right here by the police department, so you guys are going to be well fed. Yes? No. Okay. We are here today because we have some really exciting news. I'm going to quickly turn it over to our mayor and our city manager. They're going to talk not only about the developments of what's coming, but also what it has taken, the time it has taken, et cetera, to develop the Hillside corridor, and then what it's looking like for South Broken Arrow and what's coming with those developments. So with that, Mayor Craig Thurmond.
Well, I appreciate everyone being here. I think the media probably knows where Broken Arrow is now. We've had a lot of announcements lately, and I was just looking and trying to figure out what we have coming up in the next couple of months. I know of at least 7 press conferences of things that are very exciting we're going to announce over the next couple of months. So we're going to keep seeing you back. So it's exciting that we're going to continue what we've been doing in the past, and it's growing. And at one time, Broken Arrow had a very modest retail base. There was very little things you could buy here in Broken Arrow. As the community grew, retail didn't keep up with the household, so we had a hard time keeping up with the demands. The police, fire, streets, all the things that we have to do that we fund through sales tax. So it's so important that we grow our sales tax. And those, so we had to move forward and provide services anyway, even though we didn't have the funding. Now we're trying to bring that funding by all the work we've done on growth. In early 2000s, city started talking with Bass Pro. That facility opened in 2005. In 2005 through 17, we had a lot of things that have happened in the last 12 years. We start looking at all the shops and stores that have opened. 4 years after Bass Pro, we got Target in 2009. And then 2010, we had Cinemark. 2011, we had Dick's. 2014, Sprouts came. And then 2017, Hobby Lobby and Quick Trip. And there's been a lot of things in between there, a lot of little stores and restaurants like Freddy's and the Andy's Custard and Starbucks and all the things that we're starting to fill in the area with. So that's where we're moving forward. And it feels like that North Broken Arrow has developed overnight. But the reality is it's been 12 plus years, and if you count the couple years of planning, it's been 14 years it's taken to get to this point, and we're about 80% built out. So we have still more to go, but it's about a 20-year project when you figure to build out an area. And we started in South Broken Arrow, and now Warren Theater's open there. We have some other announcements coming up soon. And it's going to take off the same way, and we're going to have the city's done the things to provide the infrastructure and get the development out there. So we're going to see the same growth, and over the next 10 years have just as many press conferences that we've had talking about things that are going on. So I want to turn it over to City Manager Michael Spurgeon. He's going to talk about exactly what we're doing here.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, good morning, everybody. Wow, this is awesome to see so many folks here for today's press conference. I always like to begin by thanking those people that actually make it happen, and we do have members of our city council here today. We have Vice Mayor Richard Carter, and we also have Councilman Scott Udy, so I'm going to thank them. We also have a number of members from our Economic Development Corporation. These individuals are volunteers as well, and they work tirelessly to try to provide the guidance and leadership needed to make sure that economic development remains a top priority for our community. I also see Kenny Tilley here today that is intricately involved in economic development. I want to thank her for her efforts. I've always said over my career that I want to lead and be a part of a community where people and businesses are coming to and not going from. And in nearly 2 years as city manager, I can proudly say that Broken Arrow exhibits this tenet. It is definitely a place that I think everyone knows is that people want to come to, which is really has the type of energy and excitement and challenges that I believe that I need and the city needs in order to be successful. When you have folks coming here, there are great opportunities in our community. We're here this morning to announce a list of businesses that have made commitments to come to Broken Arrow. Before I announce the new businesses, I would like to just take a minute and reiterate the 3 most important goals of the city and the EDC as it relates to economic development. First and foremost, it is always about bringing or retaining jobs. Secondly, is trying to provide our citizens more opportunities to shop local. And then finally, whenever we receive new businesses, that generates additional revenue that we convert to city services. We have many of our public safety, specifically our police department here today. The dollars that are spent within our community that generate sales tax helps pay for the salaries and the equipment to provide outstanding public safety services, along with all the other services that we provide to our community. Today's announcement will help us meet all three of our stated goals. Each of these businesses has determined that Broken Arrow is a great place to make an investment. And when you think about the private side, the folks that make these investments have to feel like they're going to get a return on their investment. And so they've done the analysis, they've done the marketing to determine that when they make these multi-million-dollar investments, that they're going to get a return on those investments. And we as a city receive return on those investments too, as I mentioned, in converting those dollars that we receive into public services. I'm pleased to announce the following, and there are many that are going to be coming to Broken Arrow. First, at the shops at Broken Arrow, Phase 2 between PetSmart and Dick's Sporting Goods, we're going to see an Ulta, Michael's, a Dollar Tree, and a Ross. Secondly, at Hillside Crossing, the shopping center across the street from the new Hobby Lobby, we're going to see Jersey Mike's, Wingstop, and Tropical Smoothie Cafe. Third, and the police department's going to love this, at Aspen and Kenosha, we're going to see a new Dunkin' Donuts. So, just kidding, guys. And then finally, in our award-winning Rose District, and we announced this at the council meeting the other night, is we're going to be seeing the Indian Brewing Company. And it's going to be just another opportunity for folks to come down and enjoy the Rose District, as well as other parts of our community where there's new businesses. And finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't say that with regard to Tiger Hill. Now, most of us in this room know Tiger Hill as the property that the city owns near the water towers at 71st and Lynn Lane. We are in negotiations with the developer to sell Tiger Hill. These negotiations have been ongoing since late last summer. It's a very complicated process. I like to say that sometimes it's like making sausage, is that there's a lot that goes into it, and the end product in this case is a new business. We hope to complete those negotiations in the next 60 days, where City Council will consider agreement to sell the property. I can tell you, as the developer is confident that we're going to reach an agreement, and has already started the planning process to bring more retail and commercial businesses to that area of town. Let me also point out that the Ross and the Dollar General are additional locations in Broken Arrow. Both of these companies have determined that their existing stores can continue to survive and do well, so these will be additional stores to our community. Now, as April mentioned, I need to take this opportunity to talk about South Broken Arrow, because there's a lot of conversation going about South Broken Arrow. Obviously, every single person that lives in a community wants the convenience of having businesses right next to their home. And believe me, there's nothing more the City Council and the City Administration and the Economic Development Corporation want, is to have everybody to have those opportunities within their community. So I want to mention a few things about South Broken Arrow. Let me begin by reiterating what the mayor said, that it took over 12 years from the time that Bass Pro opened until to see the 80% of the growth that we have in this area today. It's going to take time for South Broken Arrow to basically flourish. I also point out that it took Target 4 years from the time Bass Pro opened in order for that store to begin actually selling goods. I want to mention what the city has done to prime South Broken Arrow for development. First and foremost, the city negotiated an agreement with the Oklahoma Turnpike Authority to add the gates at Aspen. The city's investment to add those gates was over $6.2 million. $6.2 million to build those gates. Without those gates, it would be extremely difficult for anything to happen in South Broken Arrow. Next, the City Council approved or secured through the voters funds through general bond obligations to widen to 5-lane 121st or Tucson from Elm to Aspen, and from 111th to 121st of Aspen, dedicating over $7 million to widen those roads to accommodate the growth. Third, the city is currently completing the installation of an upgrade to the sewer line between 111th and 121st and Aspen at the cost of $850,000. And I can promise you, without the upgrade in that sewer line, The businesses that are going to locate in that area could not be able to do so because we would not have the capacity to be able to accommodate the amount of loads, as they call it, of material that is received, albeit from the residents or a business. And then finally, in order to incentivize the area, the city entered into a multi-million-dollar agreement with the developer of the Aspen Creek shops. That type of incentive is absolutely necessary in order to entice new businesses. Now, we understand that it's been over 2 years since the Warren Theater opened. And if I ask everybody to raise their hand, probably 100% of the people said they would have been to the Warren Theater. I can promise you we want nothing more than additional businesses around the Warren Theater. And if you can see that in order to prime that area of development, the city has spent close to $20 million. $20 million in order to build the infrastructure to be able to accommodate the growth that goes in that area. Folks, without infrastructure, nothing happens. If you don't have the roads, if you don't have the sewer, if you don't have the incentives, if you don't have the gate, it's just not going to happen. They're going to go somewhere else. And so I think it demonstrates the forward thinking, the leaning forward of the EDC and the governing body to make sure that that area is primed for development. Now, I can tell you this, is that here's what we're really excited about. Is right now there are nearly 1,300 homes that have been approved for construction within 1.5 miles of the Warren Theater. Those are probably going to be built within the next 5 years. Whenever you have 1,300 additional homes, you're going to do two things. You're going to increase the traffic counts, and secondly, you're going to increase the household incomes in the area, which are the two of the three main factors that the private sector looks for whenever they want to make investments. The other one is close proximity to existing stores. So you can see we're very excited about that. And also, based on the retail studies that we've been doing and the marketing that we have been doing, we know that South Broken Arrow is primed for development. We've done the infrastructure that was needed, and we're marketing that area every single day between the city and the EDC. The city and the EDC will continue to aggressively market that area because, believe me, we want nothing more than to have growth in all parts of our city. I live at 101st, right off of Lynn Lane. Believe me, I cannot wait for the opportunity to go south instead of always having to go north. And I know that the folks that live down there as well would like that opportunity too. But regardless of where you live in the city, until the state changes the tax model on how we collect taxes to support important services like public safety, fire, police, parks, streets, and roads, I think our number one responsibility should be to support the local businesses that have made investments here because those dollars come back to us. So with that, we're very excited to announce all the new businesses and to give you an update on South Broken Arrow. This concludes our press conference. We'll stick around to answer some questions, and I just want to thank the Chamber for putting on today's press conference. Thank you.